Ladies and gentlemen, Father Brian O'Brien here in Payne County, America, Stillwater, and you're listening to the Pastors of Payne.
Yay!
We are a weekly podcast and radio show. We're just two priests. We're just two priests out on the frontier, just holding it down on the western edge of the Diocese of Tulsa. And I'm with Father Kerry Wakulich.
What? Tell
them what they've won, Father.
You have won the next 28 and a half minutes with us.
So
Yay!
one request I had, I've been meaning to do this for a while. You hear this on like a lot of podcasts, and like we're not, we've said it from the very beginning. We don't record this for like national prominence. We are not trying to compete with.
Now you don't make biscuits out of this kind of dough,
the major sort of podcasts or Catholic podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Our goal is the evangelization of Oklahoma State University and Payne County, Oklahoma. And so we're not. So I know we have people, of course, that listen. But one thing that allows for people to like listen more, or like it kind of comes up more, is if like you go in and like leave a review on like iTunes and Spotify, wherever you're listening. And then of course like kind of to share it with other people. So do that. And then the other is that you can also send us money.
Oh, really?
Because this, it's not a massive cost, but it's a cost.
Jay don't work for free
to our parishes to be able to put this together. And so just know that you can just put it on there and put Pastors of Payne or put radio, because we also, in addition to the show that's on the radio and as podcast, is we also broadcast the Mass, the Catholic Mass, on Sundays at 10 o'clock on Pete 94.3 and AM 780.
What?
So 9:30 is our show, and then at 10 o'clock is the Mass. But all that that costs money. So anyway, send us some money. Okay, that's all. Last Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, was going to be a momentous day on one level, in that it was going to be the Oklahoma State football home opener. This was September the 12th, but then it got moved because COVID and TU, University of Tulsa, hadn't had enough practices. And anyway, I appreciate the flexibility.
I heard this, that the University of Tulsa was scared of my praying powers because I used to be at TU and we used to win, and now I move here and still
I went to the OSU TU game, the one that's like started at midnight. Remember that game?
Yes. I was totally asleep.
TU did not win that game.
I know, because I was asleep.
Oh, that's why?
Yeah, and then I got moved here, and then we played them, and then we beat them, and so they were just now they're.
So what about?
I think Montgomery's
what about the games TU won before you were their chaplain?
The one against Notre Dame?
No, just.
I mean, they beat Notre. Remember when they beat Notre Dame?
I do remember that. That was intense. But anyway, so last Saturday was supposed to be the OSU home opener. Instead, it's on the 19th. But a major. Let me just say this. A major announcement came about from one Father Kerry Wakulich, priest and chaplain and pastor of St. John Catholic Student Center, of some big news in here in Stillwater and on the campus of Oklahoma State University.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us about that? I have many questions.
You have many questions.
I mean, I was there for the event, so I know most of the answers, and we've been, I've kind of been in on things.
You've been on things.
Not everything, but I consider myself to be a confidant of the beloved Father who sits across from me here.
So this is what's going on.
What's happening?
We are.
I have many questions.
We are building a new church and student center. And not just building any new church and student center. This is we've been working on it for the last 3.5 years.
So when you say student center, church on one side, and then a brand new student center, of which it's going to be total 25,000 square feet. So right now we're 12,000 square feet, so we're doubling our size. The current St. John's building is 12,000 square feet.
Yeah, about that.
And that includes the church?
That's everything.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, church and student center.
The new building is going to be double that.
Yeah.
Wow. Including the church.
So it's going to be basement, first floor, second floor,
basement?
connector, and church. You can go to our website, buildingsaints.com. buildingsaints.com,
What a fun
which
website.
just came out last week. So we bought it. We bought the URL, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, knowing we were going to make this big event. And then boom, everything is on there, buildingsaints.com. You can see what's going on. You see the progress. You can see our video of why we need to build this new student center now. Like why we're doing it now. We've been at it for the last 3.5 years. Both parents, donors, alumni, current students. And as
the idea has been percolating.
It has been percolating because when Father Stewart was here, there was this growth, this big growth of students' involvement with Focus coming on board. And so the numbers just started to swelling as evangelization. And then more students started coming from Wichita and the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and California.
Yeah, OSU is growing.
OSU is growing. And so these numbers are growing of the pews. And then we started seeing this growth. And then a few things have happened. We had a big earthquake in September, like on the first day of football. And now our building has a large, substantial crack in it. It's not that it's like
it's an older building.
It's a building that was built in '62,
Yes.
so there's a few
much
cracks.
love and respect for the building.
So
But
it's
not serving serving your
right.
needs.
Bathrooms and hallways just don't meet our needs anymore.
The hallways are very
they're very
narrow.
narrow.
As a bigger person,
As
I do not like the narrow hall.
yeah.
Okay, so 25,000 square feet. When is I have many questions. When is this happening?
So the kickoff happened last Saturday.
Well,
and Sunday.
So you're raising money.
So we're raising money, and the building's going to get demolished May 9th, 2021.
May of 2021. So
May of
after the school-
2021.
That's next year.
That's next year.
Wow.
So right before graduation, we're going to have a student event and donors and alumni and also former St. John parishioners who have loved this place for the last 50 years.
Yeah. So that's maybe a little sad for people.
It
maybe a
is.
lot sad.
Well, there's a number of people who they've had their baptisms, their first communions.
Yeah.
They've buried their parents there.
Yeah.
They had their weddings there. They met their spouses at St. John too.
But so and I think it's important to note St. John's is not going away.
It's not.
But the building itself. And now I would say in Stillwater, this has been maybe this is like a theme. I mean, that's been happening. So just I give maybe a little history. So there's been Catholics in Payne County since the 1890s. There was an original St. Francis Xavier Church, which no longer stands. Then in 1950, that church was demolished, and the new, the second St. Francis Xavier, that then served for 68 years.
Correct.
And then the new St. Francis Xavier was built. So this is not sort of without precedent, but it is without precedent at St. John's, which has been there since 50 something, 60 something.
Yeah, it used to be just a little house right there in the midst of all these other little houses.
Oh, so this is actually like the second St. John's.
So it was a house.
But
it was a
they
house
had mass
church.
at the house?
They had mass at the house.
Oh, so the current building is the second.
Is the second St. John.
And so this new building will be the third.
The third and final. We're building.
Oh.
We're building for the next 500
I like that.
years.
That was our line of thinking at St. Francis.
Yeah, we're
Xavier
building
too.
for the next 500 years, and we're taking. This is what's really cool. We want to evangelize with beauty. Pope Francis has this line in his document on the gospel. What is that? Evangelium, whatever that one is about the joy of the gospel. Evangelium Gaudium, the joy of the gospel. And it was a line in it where he talks about evangelizing with beauty. And he goes off on for just a few lines about beauty, how beauty in a way elevates the heart and the mind and the imagination to heaven. And then within a couple of weeks of that, what did he do? He closed down the Vatican Museum and the Sistine Chapel to tours. And what did he do? What did you remember? He brought the homeless in. And people are like, why are you letting the homeless in there? And he says, the homeless need to see beauty too.
Yeah.
Because all they do is look at the concrete streets of Rome and look at the
Graffiti.
trash. Yeah. And so he says, we need them to experience beauty. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this is to build this new student center that will not only meet our needs, but also build something beautiful for the city of Stillwater, for the people, for those people coming in for game days, for future students, for current students, to build this beautiful church and student center. So we've taken the model, actually, after the Church of San Ambrogio in Milan.
I am unfamiliar. I've never been to Milan.
I've never been to Milan either.
Tell us why, of all the churches, why that
Well, one, it's Romanesque, and Romanesque is cheap to build. As someone on our building committee said, who's a construction builder, he said, and I quote, Gothic, that's tough to build.
Tell me
Romanesque
about it. That St. Francis Xavier is Gothic.
It's Gothic.
Yeah.
Romanesque, I can build in my sleep.
So Romanesque, if you're Romanesque, just to give people the old St. Francis Xavier, sort of the curved columns, that's Romanesque.
So we're throwing a little love out to the old St. Francis Xavier down the street, but we're also building it off of San Ambrogio style, because one of the things we want to do is to teach people that the church's beauty, ever ancient, ever new. Because the church of St. Ambrogio was originally called the Church of the Holy Martyrs, built, and it was dedicated in 379, which that means it began years prior to that. So right after the Council of Nicaea, right after the Edict of Milan, this church of the Church of the Holy Martyrs was going up. And it's still there today. You still go to it. San Ambrogio, Milan.
Spell that.
Ambrose, Ambriggio. So it is this beautiful church. But then you could also teach college students remember we talked about atheism last week?
I do.
I mean, like St. Augustine, when Monica was kind of exhausted with okay, my son won't believe, he's tried everything, he's looked around, and what did she do? She said, you're going to talk to Ambrose, the Bishop of Milan.
Literally the man.
Yeah,
Ambrose,
So she took Augustine to Ambrose, and Augustine writes in his book on the Confessions, I met with Ambrose, and he answered all my questions. So this church of San Ambrogio, which is going to be called St. John the Evangelist, its purpose is to evangelize with beauty, to know that questions, it's all right to ask questions. But we're on this, as we talked about last week, atheism, we're on this search to open our minds to find the truth, because the truth will then set us free. So we're building this church that is, it's going to take...
So evangelizing with beauty, I love the Dostoevsky quote from Crime and Punishment, low ceilings and tiny rooms cramp the soul and the mind.
Whoa, say that again?
Low ceilings and tiny rooms cramp the soul and the mind.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. When we want, I think especially, we're looking for, we're trying to build something that's transcendent.
Right. I take students on pilgrimages a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Every summer we go. And I had this interesting experience in the town of Nowa Huta in Poland. Nowa Huta means new town, new city. And Nowa Huta was built at the same time that there was a young Archbishop of Krakow named Karol Wojtyła. And he noticed that the communists who were devoutly atheists were building a town without a church. But not only were they building a town without a church, they were making everything concrete and gray. There was no trees in the town. So Nowa Huta had all this beauty around it of, 1,000 years of awesome architecture. Copernicus, for crying out loud, is from the Jagiellonian in Krakow. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fahrenheit is from Gdańsk up in northern Poland. So there was all this beauty and science going on, and art and architecture. And then Nowa Huta, new town. And it was built gray. Why? Why was it built gray? It's
communists.
It was built gray so that you wouldn't think about color. You wouldn't think about
anything.
Numbing
the mind.
Don't make the mind work. Don't make the mind think. Don't get things going. Just
don't think of
about
anything transcendent.
Gray.
Yeah.
And work
think only
work,
of how
work,
we can
work.
serve the state.
What's that movie Les Mis? Have you ever seen Les Mis? Where they're there's that line, look down, as they're pulling the ropes on the boat at the shore. And he's...
Oh, I forgot about that.
He's talking to him. He's like, don't look up. The whole scene's gray. And so
don't go out in the country. Don't look at the stars.
Don't
build anything beautiful.
Gray.
And
so we're changing that.
One of the things I love, and I've always admired this about Oklahoma State University, One, I like the buildings. I mean, I think this is different. This is
Yeah.
you're building a church, not a classroom building or something. But I love like the attentiveness that Oklahoma State puts on the grounds.
Oh, they're beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and I think that it makes you wake up. So think of that. I mean, so if you walked the grounds of OSU or any beautiful place, beautiful campus,
right.
like it.
Okay.
It inspires you.
Yes.
It enlivens you. It's I've been sitting in this room all day. I just gotta get outside a little bit.
Correct.
And so in many ways, a beautiful church does the same thing.
So the interior, we're doing the interior to teach people the faith through beauty. So if you look up San Clemente in Rome,
Oh, been there.
the Church of San Clemente, which was originally I guess founded under Pope Zosimus, and you're like, who's Pope Zosimus? Pope Zosimus lived in the early 400s, and so the Church of San Clemente was built around the early 400s, and it has this fantastic mosaic of which we're going to do a painting of.
Oh, is that
and
right?
it's the vine and the branches.
I love that.
Yes. So Bishop Muggenberg, I was talking to him a couple months ago. We were talking about this project, and he says the crucifix at San Clemente of the vine and the branches, Jesus' eyes are open. His side is pierced. His eyes are open because the vine and the branches are alive. And if you look in each of the branches,
Yes.
you can see the little vocations of people. That the water and the life of the cross gives life to everything. Like those deer that are long for running streams, so my soul is yearning for you, my God.
I love that.
So this art, we're going to do art throughout the church that's all of St. John, the gospel themed, like the 24 elders standing around the altar. We're going to have that painted on the walls. And so it's
Very biblical.
Yeah. So it's going to, the whole purpose of it is to lift the mind and the heart to think about something other than just the world.
Okay, I have many questions.
Go.
So this will start in May,
It'll start in May.
and then when will it be done?
It'll take about 14 to 16 months to finish it, depending on
That's a long
weather.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you just won't have Mass for 16 months?
That's right. We're just going to stop doing everything. Ministry, come to a close.
What's the plan?
So the
What's
plan is
there. So you're going to be a Catholic student center with no building.
Okay, right. I know. Isn't that funny?
How does that work?
Okay. Are you asked me about?
I actually know the answer to this, but I'm just for the people.
With COVID or not with COVID?
I mean, let's assume.
COVID's gone.
Yeah.
Let's assume COVID's gone. We're going to use Old St. Francis Xavier just down the street.
Really? 601
Yes.
Southwest?
Also known as Catholic Charities.
Yes.
It is the Catholic Charities of the city of Stillwater. And so we're going to use Old St. Francis just down the street.
The upstairs.
Which holds about 220 people you can put in there. With COVID, 30%. So I mean, we'll use that for some of our masses. And then I know this priest, his name, you can't tell this. I mean, good people of God, you can't say this out loud. There's this priest I know, his name is Father B. O'Brien. Wait, but that's too obvious. Well, Father Brian O. And he has generously offered the use of his church for us to have Sunday Mass. The old church. And what do we think about the new one?
And yeah, so there's some possibilities there. So we're still working. We're still working that plan out of how can the ministry, that's the dynamic ministry that's happening at St. John Catholic Student Center. How can that be done with similar dynamism,
Correct.
without a building? And so one of the reasons why we have kept, so when we moved into our new church, March 2018, there was a discussion before that and after that of like, well, what are we doing with the old church?
Correct.
So we want it to be, and it's going to be eventually our outreach to the poor
Correct.
of this community. And so we've started that already. We renovated the basement. Stillwater Catholic Charities has moved in. We renovated the old offices. But then we've basically left largely untouched the upstairs. Half of the pews are gone. They went to Our Lady of the Lake in Manford, who needed new pews. We were happy to give those to them. But then the upstairs has largely remained untouched, and it's for this reason. We haven't talked about it a lot because it wasn't, your plans were not set. It was not, it was kind of big, kind of a little bit of a secret, but that St. John's is going to be able to come and have mass there while their new building is being built. Then when the new St. John's is built and finished, then we, St. Francis Xavier, people of God, who are not students, we can go back in, and now we start looking at what are the major needs in the community, and we start using that upstairs facility for our outreach to the poor.
Correct. It's going to be pretty fantastic because it's just across 6th Street. It's just a couple blocks away. And so we're also going to use, the Focus Missionaries have houses throughout the city of Stillwater. Students have houses throughout the city of Stillwater.
The rectory.
Yeah. The back patio. St. Francis, we already use the volleyball court there with frequency.
Yeah.
We're going to adapt to this new situation. Remember Darwin. Darwin, it's not the strongest survive, it's the adaptable survive.
Adapt or die.
Yeah, because the Brontosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex were the strongest and the biggest, but they all died.
Adapt, yeah.
They couldn't adapt. So we are adapting.
And I think it's important, I think as a Catholic people, we have to be thinking about the future. That I like to say that many times, nostalgia is killing us. We sort of long for the old days
back when I was
things
younger.
were better, or and really, there's this sort of progress of ministry,
Correct.
and really wanting to serve more and more people in a new and different way, and this is what's next. Okay, I have other questions.
Oh, you know what? I've been waiting 3.5 years to talk about this publicly.
Is this very liberating?
It is. It actually is like giving birth to something.
So all this is like at buildingsaints.com?
Buildingsaints.com. Hashtag on social media, Instagram, Building Saints. You can find all that. You can see the campaign videos and why.
How much is it going to cost?
It's going to cost $20 million.
Okay. And then, so how much, you're raising money.
We're still raising money.
So how much?
We're 75% the way there.
That's amazing.
It is. Most people start
That's
a building
amazing.
project with 50% around there.
Okay.
And we're 75% of the way there. We've been raising money for the last 3.5 years.
Okay.
And generous donors,
that's amazing.
generous donors.
So that for the whole building, or there's going to be...
And then there's going to be an endowment added to
piece?
it. That'll be a little part of the phase.
Smart.
It is.
My boy's wicked smart.
But it's donors from Houston,
who are you?
Dallas,
Who are these
Fort
donors?
Worth,
We
New
don't
York,
want names,
California. There are people donating from all over the country. You can even go onto our website and just buy a brick. You want to buy a brick?
I want a brick.
Buy.
How much is a brick?
A brick's $20.
You can just many bricks.
You can just buy a brick, and this is what I love. Okay.
Should I eat dinner or buy a brick?
You should buy a brick, and then eat dinner with the $5 you got left over, which is probably some carrots or something. This is what I love about San Ambrogio. This is what sold me on it. It's not only the architecture, the beauty, the history. When it was built, they kept a list of all the people that supported it.
Really?
Still today, they have that list. And on that list, I've been told, are tradespeople, intellectuals, politicians, and then prostitutes.
Really?
This San Ambrogio, or the Church of the Holy Martyrs, as it was originally called, was literally the church of the people of that area. They asked them to support it. This is your church, support it. So that everybody feels like I can go in there.
So students should be donating.
Students.
To this.
So we have a leadership group of college students. And Lauren Lacey runs that group with some Bishop Kelly alums.
Really?
Yeah. Some new converts. There's a group of 6 people that are on there. Matt Bond.
And prostitutes?
Not prostitutes.
I didn't know if you had a prostitute committee.
No, we don't.
Okay.
What we're going to ask is students are like, I can't give. Like an atheist, agnostic. It's like, why don't you build something beautiful? Why don't you help us build something beautiful? You may not agree with us theologically. You may not agree with us on faith or morals. But I want you to build something beautiful here for us. And you can come into it. You could walk into it and look around at the beautiful art. You can stop.
Anyone.
Anybody. If you're a college student on Oklahoma State University, or you're coming to a football game and you're tailgating, stop in. It's right there.
Wow.
Boone Pickens will be in our shadows.
Oh
my.
Oh, you've been saying for years that you're in the shadows.
I know. We're turning it around.
Okay, then what's going to be in the building? So a church. You've talked about the church. What else?
A church
is in the building.
So we've designed it in a way that when people walk in the door, the main entrance is the bell tower. Because we want college students to be known, seen, and heard. We want to get to know other people. We want to see them look in each other's eyes, and we want to listen to each other and talk to each other. So the bell tower is the major entrance to funnel people in. Because right now
How tall is the bell tower?
The bell tower is 5 feet shorter than Edmond Lowe Library.
What?
Yeah, so you'll be able to see it halfway across campus. Both visually the doors and the bell tower.
I like that a lot.
So to bring people in, and then there's a second floor which has study areas, has offices, has big open Bible study rooms, closed Bible study rooms, and then on the first floor is this big place called the Hoftorium, half a Hofbrauhaus, half a Praetorium. It's a place where students can hang out and they can eat and they can play games, they can sit by the fire, they can just, one student's like, I really want to start a coffee shop right there. Right outside that door. I would, Father, can I start a coffee shop? I'm like, let me see your business plan. Because they want to bring people into this beautiful life.
Sure.
And so it's going to be really cool. It's going to be an old building. It's going to look like an old building, like an old church. Beautiful brick that's kind of going to match the old side of OSU. Like there's a couple buildings like ROTC and the graphic design building that don't look like the rest of the campus. So it's gonna blend in with those sort of, and then it's gonna really stand out.
But am I right? So the St. John's property, your property, our property, is not on the campus.
Is not on the campus.
It is privately owned.
Correct.
By the Roman Catholic Diocese of Tulsa.
Correct.
Okay. Now you bought, you have. Okay, so tell us about you have the St. John's outline, the building now. There's you own parking lots.
Yeah. Well, so
around you.
So we're gonna pull the building down, and then we're gonna build the new church and student center behind it. So there'll be open grass space out front for tailgating, for students to hang out, chairs, patio furniture out there. And there'll be a parking lot with about 56, 60 parking spots.
Okay, so you're going to lose some parking.
Yeah, we're going to lose a big chunk of parking.
But you need less parking now because you're serving students.
Right. And there's a parking garage probably going to be built next door to us.
Oh.
And there's parking across the street.
You're not building a parking garage.
No, we're not building. OSU's going to build a parking garage.
Okay, so give us what is like your elevator pitch, like we're riding in an elevator, we're going up 30 floors. Why are you building this?
St. John Catholic Student Center, our mission is to build saints for the kingdom of God. So help us build even more saints now and in the future. Give these college students and college students that will come after them a place of beauty to worship God, to elevate their minds to heaven, and to invite their friends, students from the architecture school, students from the construction school, football players who need to pray for a win. They can be invited in to this beauty, which is the new evangelization.
Okay. I'm in, baby.
Okay, buy a couple bricks.
Let's do it.
Buildingsaints.com. That's our website.
So what we can do is periodically, as this gets rolling, especially like come May and other, we'll do some little updates. But people can call you, call Matt
me,
Bond, who's
call
your
Matt Bond.
development director.
They can go online and just say, they can go online to the donate page of buildingsaints.com.
What if they want to give like a lot of money?
Then you call me up.
Nice.
Bring me.
Just
call St. John.
He'll come see you.
Yeah.
He'll get on a plane. He'll drive his truck and
all that stuff.
Sit in your living room. Okay. Well, that's all the time we have. That was super interesting. Wow.
That's a lot of stuff.
Wow. So
pray for us. Pray for us. Pray for these students.
New era. Wow.
Yeah. Pray for this building project.
Awesome.
This building saints for the kingdom, because that's what we do here in Payne County.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week. Share this with people you know, and pray for us. And we love you.
God bless you.